Hi, this is Joe again with another movie review. And for the subject of this video, I'm going to be discussing a real classic movie. If we're talking about a real classic movie, this one is it. I'm going to be discussing the 1954 film, a musical film, uh, the Judy Garland version of A Star Is Born. Of course, stars, like I said, just said Judy Garland and James Mason. Now, this movie is if you want to talk about a classic, this one is really a classic. It's definitely one of the best musicals you're ever going to see in your life. This movie, of course, I know there are other versions of A Star Is Born. More recently, I think 1976, with Barbara Streisand and Chris Christopherson. I'm not going to be discussing that one. I'm going to be discussing the 1954, which is actually the second version of it, the same story. There was one back, I think, in the 30s or 40s. But the 1954 version I feel is the best one. So that's what I'm going to be discussing. Like I said earlier, it's the 1950 is Star Is Born in 1954 by Warner Brothers, and Judy Garland's store, James Mason's store in it, and Judy Garland plays a character named Esther Blodgett. That was the name of a character. It's a powerful name. Uh, but the movie starts with Norman Maines, played by James Mason, who is a fallen down drunken actor. And what I mean by falling down drunk, I mean a fallen down drunk. Uh, who was at the tail end of his career. Everybody knows him, but the studio was getting disgusted with this guy because they were disgusted of covering his ass. Because everybody knows he was a drunk, but the studio kept covering his ass all the time when he gets into trouble. The drunk driving accidents and making an asshole out of himself, pretty much. And this particular night, there was a charity thing, or one of those Hollywood charity events, and Judy Garland was one of the acts. She was just a singer in a band. And James Mason got on stage, on his character, Norman Maine. He gets on stage because it's supposed to be a big star that everybody's going to see in this charity event. And he goes, "You can't prevent me from going on stage." He gets on stage, he's drunk as a skunk. Even before that, Judy Garland had a line saying, "Mr. Maine is feeling no pain." And she's getting a kick, can't say, "Oh, can't believe this guy is drunk." And people always telling him that this guy is drunk all the time and all this stuff. Well, she was just fascinated with this. It's like almost like love at first sight. She was like fascinated with this guy. And then she gets into her song that she performs on stage, and James Mason comes on that, and she having to save it. But after she gets off stage, she was like scared. She was like scared silly because this guy comes on stage and says, "Oh my God, what the hell am I going to do?" And she just kept rolling like it wasn't a problem, like too professional that the character's supposed to be. She acted like it was really no problem on stage, but backstage she was like scared shit because she didn't know what the hell this guy was going to do. And Norman Maine went over to her and thanked her for saving his ass, pretty much, and he was instantly in love with her. And he actually follows her around to a club that her band went to. And this is like the highlight, and this is like within the first 20-25 minutes of the movie. And it has one of the greatest movie songs ever, where Judy Garland performs "The Man That Got Away," and the song is really great. I mean, other than Over the Rainbow, this is the second greatest song, or maybe even better than Over the Rainbow, that Judy Garland performed in the movie. That's how good the song is. And of course, the song lasts for a couple of minutes, and James Mason is like fascinated with it. As the track went down, and it says, "I can help you. And any feel that you have the talent to become a big movie star, and I can help you." At first, she was like reluctant to do so, and then of course she said, "Okay." Reluctantly, she agrees, leaves the band, quits the band, and goes to the studio, and she eventually the studio changes her name to Vicky Lester. She ends up becoming a big star, and they do have a couple of big sequences when she films the movie, And then you have the scene where the screening, and you see Judy Garland watching herself on the screen, and you have the big screen that's singing, "Mammy," uh, and it's a big long stretch scene there. Then of course she becomes a bigger and bigger star by the day, and James Mason, no one wants to hire him for any more movies. And even at one point, the movie studio cancels his contract or buys him out. Since they bought him out, no other studio is trying to get another job with another studio. Or sign a contract with another studio to do movies, like a five picture deal, or to do five movies or 3 movies, whatever. He couldn't even get a deal for it in any other studio because no one wants it because he was too much trouble. Because he's too much of a drunk. So at one point, in the Academy Awards of all places, Judy Garland does win her character, Ricky Lester, wins the Academy Award for a movie. And James Mason interrupts her speech and he pleads with everybody in the audience, look, I'm leaving a job now. I'm happy for my wife that she won. It's great, but I need to work too. And he was pleading with the whole audience to get him a job. At one point, he raises his hand like this. You know, he raises his hand like this. Unwittingly hits Judy Garland in the face. Everybody went, "Oh my God, he hit his wife." Everybody knows it was an accident, but everybody goes, "He beats his wife." It was that thing. And of course, people were upset that, of course, he's a drunk. He's like drunk again in the Academy Awards. No one's hiring him. So what happens is he goes to rehab. He actually goes to physical rehab, and he goes to the hospital for a few weeks. He's trying to clean himself up. And Judy Garland, there's one particular scene that Judy Garland should have won the Academy Award for, and I'm going to get into it. Eventually, I'm going to get into it. And she breaks down. Says, I failed him. I'm a failure. He failed. He hates things failing. I failed him. He failed me. I'm a failure. That particular scene is about more than halfway through the film. That's the scene where she should have won the Academy Award for. I'm going to get all into that so they do the bit of the movie here. What happens is, of course, after he gets out of rehab, he gets crap from a guy who works for the studio they used to work for. He used to say his ass more times than anybody could count. He says, "Oh, you don't have to work ever again. You can live off your wife." Then James Mason gets pissed off, beats the crap out of this security guy. And I'm not kidding, he literally beats the shit out of him. Then he fell off the wagon, starts boozing it up, goes missing for 4 days, he gets into a drunk driving accident, gets arrested, and he's in jail. And then Jason Mason's gonna overhears Ricky, or Julie Garland's character, talking to one of her friends from the studio. Says, I can't work anymore. And said, if I keep working, if I'm not here with them 24/7, I don't know what's going to happen to him, because no one's going to hire him anymore because trouble and all that. I have to be with him 24/7 to watch him. If he's with me, he's not going to start drinking again. The guy says, but Vicky, you're giving up your career. He says, so what? I love him. He's my husband. I love him. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be famous. It wouldn't be Vicky Lester if it wasn't for Norman. And he says, yeah, but you're, if it wasn't for you, he wouldn't be here anymore either. Because you're the last thing he has in this world. If you work, he says, see, I discovered that. If it wasn't for me, she wouldn't have a career. And Norman overhears this and he breaks down and cries. And then, of course, he decides to go and kill himself. It is a hard matching scene. It is a hard scene to watch. And you actually do physically see him killing himself. He just walks into the ocean, and that's it. But of course, all the newspapers write up as an accidental death. We all know that it was suicide because we saw him walk in the ocean, slowly into the ocean, to the water, and that's it. And then Ricky or Esther Blanchett, the Julie Garland character, decides she doesn't want to work anymore. She's all in seclusion in the house. And then the studio exec comes in and says, "Look, thanks to Norman, you have a career. You're the only thing that he had in this world. You're going to do his memory a disservice if you don't work again. And I want you to work. Norman wanted you to work. That's why he did what he did, so you can go and continue working. And if you don't go back to work, in the studio or wherever, you're going to do his memory a disservice. So, in the next benefits, the same benefit at the, I think it was like the Shrine Auditorium, I think it was, the same place where Norman discovered Julie Garland's character. She does show up, and the last line in the movie says, Hello everyone, I am Mrs. Norman Maine, and she gets a standing ovation, and that's pretty much how the movie ends. Now we're going to get into the controversial stuff. What happened was when this movie came out in 1954, I think this was like the first movie that Judy Garland did with Warner Brothers. Because he just left MGM, of course, did most of her movies during the 40s, especially with the Andy Hardy movies, and of course Wizard of Oz, Mimi and St. Louis, and all those other great movies that she did before then. She got discussed with MGM. I think I saw a documentary on this on PBS. She decides to leave MGM. MGM was very bitter breaking that contract. She goes to Warner Brothers and she does this thing. She produces the movie. She puts her blood, sweat, and tears into making The Star Was Born. So what Warner Brothers did was when they first screened it, it ran for 3 hours or 181 minutes, and the people there was complaining it was too long. No, when they were complaining it was too long, but Warner Brothers felt it was too long, and what they did was they cut 27 minutes out, almost a half hour of footage they cut out of this film. Which of course everybody, Julie Garland got mad about it. A lot of the producers and directors got mad over it, but Warner Brothers was happy about it because they knew when they saw the finished product, they knew that this could possibly be an Oscar-winning performance by Julie Garland, most likely an Oscar-winning performance by Julie Garland. And they decided they were one of the conspiracy theories that was out there with this movie. The MGM told them, "Hey, let's screw Julie Garland," and cut 27, and it was the best minutes of the movie. It shows the building relationship between Julie Garland's character and James Mason, or Norman Maine and Vicki Lester's characters. And now the footage was like the early footage building up built the relationship. And when they took the footage out, the 27 minutes out, it kind of like it screwed up the whole movie. By taking the 27 minutes out, because it was like a big chunk of the relationship and big chunk of what the emotional tie for this movie for the audience. But Warner Brothers didn't give a shit because they wanted to screw Julie Garland, make sure that she didn't win the Oscar, which of course eventually what happened. She didn't win. James Mason also. I think James Mason also didn't win either. Both of them were nominated for Best Actor and Best Actress for this film, but they didn't get it because of it. Many years later, I think some 30 years or 35 or 36 years later, this movie came out on video, with VHS for the first time. And what they did was for 2 years, they found this footage that was edited out and put it back in. But most of the good chunk of the early footage, from the footage for early part of the movie that built the relationship between Vicki Lester and Norman Maine, they only had the audio, not the visual. So what they did was they took still photographs added that into the movie, and that helped the gaps in the video footage. So that helped a lot. It could be distracting for those who watch it for the first time. Those of you who will watch this movie for the first time, those of you who haven't seen it, it'll be kind of distracting to see it go from live action to still photographs, back to live action, back to stills. It'll be kind of confusing a little bit. But if you don't understand the reasoning why, it won't mess you up. But the real reason for those still photographs in there is because they lost the video footage on the actual film for the footage, but not the audio track, which is weird. They had the audio, but not the visual part of it. I guess the film degraded to the point, or they just lost it completely, and so they put the photographs in there to mesh with the audio, and that's how they got the complete version of the film. But other than that, I mean, it is a great, great, great film, and it's one of the few musical movies that's not saccharine. I mean, it's so saccharine you get diabetes when watching it. This one is one of the few movies because it's really downtrodden. It's really a heartbreaking type movie. For a lot of reasons, it's really a heartbreaking film. And for those of you who didn't see it, you're really missing out. If you don't go out and see, I know a lot of people just want to see Julie Garland and maybe the Andy Hardy movies, Mimi in St. Louis, and Wizard of Oz, and that's it, and they skip this one because of what I just described. Don't skip this movie. Because of that, watch it. Sit down and watch it. It will be the 3 hours and it flies by. And it's also one of the few movies that's 3 hours long that flies by. And so I ask everybody to check this movie out. So that's my review of A Star Is Born, which is technically this is my first video review for 2016. Please check out all my videos, not just for Unfaithful. Check every one of them out. Please click on the video, please read it, feel free to comment on it, please subscribe to my channel, and please check out all of my videos, not just Unfaithful, all of them, on my YouTube channel. Plus you can also go to rowdyc.com, it's ROWDY, C.com. That's the homepage of the Rowdy Viewer. Check out all of this content, the TV Trash, and all the other people who contribute to this website. Thank you for watching. Catch you next time.